Happy Monday, everyone. I hope you're off to a great morning. I'm super excited about today's weekly update. So let's get started. March the 3rd, 2025, weekly HR news, trends, and compliance. This is our 11th weekly update. I cannot believe it's March. I say that every week. I'm going to definitely try to keep this to under 20 minutes because I want to respect your time, especially on Mondays. I know they are very, very busy. So what we're going to be going over today is we're going to go over last week's recap, some upcoming compliance key dates. We're going to go over the employee engagement update. And of course, as we all know, Friday is Employee Appreciation Day. So that'll be a big one I'm going to be talking about. The feature template I'll be going over. And our closure topic for today is the top 10 cybersecurity essentials for HR leaders. But before we get started, because I know Mondays can be hectic and we have to serve as leaders and be leaders to those who look up to us and to those who we lead within our organization. So the quote this morning is, "The essence of leadership is not getting overwhelmed by circumstances." And I think all of us as HR leaders can understand what that means if we really think about it, because we are dealt so many different things and so many different things come at us at a very quick pace, and it's up to us to be leaders and not get overwhelmed. Okay, so let's get started and go on to the next page and look at last week. Here we go. All right, so last week we went over, obviously, the compliance. We looked at the new administration, first 100 days of the Trump administration. We looked at the executive orders and the statuses. We also talked about employee engagement, we talked about March, and March's theme is Employee Appreciation Month, which we'll be talking about today. And March 7th, this Friday, is Employee Appreciation Day. We also discussed last week employee engagement initiatives to include the employee newsletter, which is in my Etsy store. I have two types of it, and a suggestion box, an employee bulletin board. We talked about that. We reviewed upcoming developments across the states, and we'll be doing that again today. And we also looked at a featured template entitled Managing a Multi-Generational Workforce. And this is a manager training booklet. And it's great for managers, especially during this time where you've got 5 different generations of workers in the workforce. Great. Upcoming compliance dates. Here is the HR calendar of key dates, which is also my Etsy store. I moved it up. So there's March and April. Today's March the 3rd. And of course, ACA Forms 1095B and 1095C to employees. It's the deadline. Okay. However, as you may or may not know, employers may post a notice on their website instead of automatically furnishing the forms. I have a feeling that you've already got the forms out, but I still just wanted to let you know. I'm going to jump out for just a second and go over to right here, the Benefits Law Advisor, Jackson Lewis. The guidance has arrived on the 1095B and 1095C. It came out on February the 28th. And it states employers may post a notice on their website instead of automatically furnishing forms 1095B and 1095C to all full-time employees. The first due date for a notice is March 3rd for the 2024 forms, and the notice must remain accessible until October the 10th. So I'm also going to need to put that on the key compliance calendar. If you want to read a little bit more about that, I'll have the link in my description YouTube. Okay, so let's open this back up and take a look at it a little bit more. Okay, 1 second, sorry guys. Okay, so we've got that down. Okay, March 7th is Employee Appreciation Day. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we look at the employee engagement module. I'm super excited. March 9th, daylight savings time begins on that Sunday at 2 a.m. So we will make note of that. Also, please ensure all your employees know that. I know that sometimes changes things in the IT world and the manufacturing world, but you might want to let your managers know, hey, guess what, guys? On March the 9th or on that Friday, Employee Appreciation Day, hey, guys, make sure that you change your clocks so you'll be at work on Monday. So employee daylight savings time begins. Okay, upcoming state development. Okay, so you can read through this. I'm going to move this. Hopefully it doesn't mess up anything. Here we go. From March 4th all the way to May 3rd, New York, workplace violence prevention. Alabama lowers information. Ohio extends military leave. Michigan requires veterans benefits and services poster. As we look at April, Ohio pay statement requirements take effect. And then April 15th, Missouri paid sick leave employer notice and posting requirements begin. There is a wage increase for Bellingham, Washington. Missouri voter initiated paid sick leave takes effect on May the 1st. And New York City Safe Hotels Act takes effect. Very good. Okay, going on to the next page. We're going to talk about compliance. And okay, I'm going to be jumping out again. Okay, each week I usually have a spreadsheet up that goes over each of the executive orders and the topics. What I did this weekend is I went onto my website, which is hreducationedge.com, and I created a download right here. I pulled the resources from every which direction to ensure it was correct. You click on the download, you can open up the file, and while all these topics do not have executive orders, they have been mentioned more than likely within the campaign, or they have been mentioned since January 20th or whatnot. So the topics, employee equal employment issues, DEI, artificial intelligence, immigration, pay transparency and equity, pay equity, employee leaves, wage and hour, payroll tax, Social Security. There's a lot of talks about changes coming up, and therefore you can read through. There's all the way down to data privacy, reproductive health benefits, topic, status, active, no federal action, if there's an executive order. And then here are some employer considerations. I'm not going to read all these one by one because I want to speak to like the top three or the top four. I think I'd speak to the top three and some things that I found and research that I think that you need to implement within your organization if it applies. But please know, go to my website and you will be able to download that. Very good. Okay, we're going to go right back to the PowerPoint. All right, here we go again. Clicking through really fast. I'm going to move that down there. Okay. Okay. All right. So I showed you the site that had all the topics, right? But on this particular day, we're going to go over the executive orders and some of the reminders and updates I feel that you need to know about with the equal employment issues, discrimination and harassment. recent changes have left the EEOC without a quorum, which means there's not enough people to make decisions at this time. Okay, so please know that. Despite federal shifts, employers must continue to comply with Title VII and applicable state and local anti-discrimination laws. So there's not enough people to make any decisions right now. Okay, DEI, I'm sure you hear that all the time. The Trump administration is emphasizing a merit-based approach and wants to eliminate affirmative action obligations for federal contractors. I'm sure you guys know all about this. Second bullet, the Department of Justice is investigating the private sector to determine whether certain DEI initiatives violate federal law. I also wanted to keep you updated. Some provisions of the executive order have been temporarily blocked by a federal judge, but lawsuits are ongoing, making the legal landscape uncertain. So there are some uncertain things going on right now. Okay, so when we speak to DEI, I'm going to go up here. Those that, if you're in the federal government, or you're a federal contractor, or you're a private employer, and some red flags to ensure that your program is aligned with what is expected within this executive order. You need to obviously audit your policies and your communications. You want to ensure that you don't have hiring goals or quotas. Like if you're audited by someone from the government, you don't have something, within your files that say hiring goals or quotas based on race or gender. You don't want to have something like that. You don't want to have affirmative action style programs that favor certain groups in hiring, promotions, or pay. You don't want to have affinity group funding mentioned anywhere, like grants or resources for racial or gender-based groups. And you don't want to have anything where it has mandatory DEI training, especially, if you're in the federal government. That's just the way it has gone down as of now. So make sure that if you're in the federal government and whatnot, that you've got that squared away. You want to ensure with this executive order equal opportunity for all and avoid exclusion of any group. Okay. The last one I want to talk about is immigration. I've talked about immigration probably for the past every single week. Make sure you audit your I-9s. Make sure you have a plan. So if an ICE agent shows up to your potential office, you know what you're looking for. You know to ask for, if they do bring in a warrant, make sure it's signed by a judge. Have a contingency plan in place. Know what your employees are going to say. Know what you're going to do. Know when you're going to call your attorney. Have that prepared. Also, prepare for potential visa processing delays. March the 7th is the first day for 2026 for those who are applying for H-1B visas. I think we've been mentioning that the past couple weeks. Okay, I think we're doing good on time. Yay. Okay, employee engagement focus. Okay, March's theme. It's March. I love March. It's my birthday, March 18th. Okay, so March's theme is Employee Appreciation Month. You don't necessarily have to make the whole month Employee Appreciation Month, but March the 7th is Employee Appreciation Day. And then I put March 20th as Thank You Thursday. And I used to do Thank You Thursday within the organizations I worked. And it was a day. I did it like every Thursday, and employees would write notes to each other, thanking them for something, thanking another employee for what they had done for them each week. I think employees need to show appreciation to other coworkers, show respect, and it really enhanced the culture. And I'm all about enhancing the culture and employee engagement. Okay, so with it being employee engagement module, we're going to go over some ideas of what you could do. It's not until Friday, okay? But here are some ideas. And these ideas right here, they're also on my website that I showed you, where all the topics were and executive orders were for the Trump first 100 days. These ideas are on there. Recognition and rewards. You could do a personal thank you note. Maybe have the leadership write handwritten thank you cards highlighting specific employee contributions. Is really neat to get something specific. Have a shout out wall for the day. I know it sounds maybe silly, but it's not silly. It's actually a lot of fun. And set up a virtual or in office where employees can post compliments about their colleagues. You could do an awards and certificates type of fun awards, like be the best problem solver, team cheerleader. Maybe do that within your teams or whatnot. That would be fun. Give some perks dependent upon how that works within your organization. Give cards. I don't know about bonuses, but you'd have to look at, how that, you'd have to run that by accounting. Custom swag, hoodies, tumblers, or notebooks, if that's what you have in your organization. Wellness, maybe bring in a massage person to do like maybe somebody's back or whatnot. Kind of like when you have a health fair and you bring someone in. Food and fun, maybe you want to have a breakfast or lunch on the company. I think that would be really nice. A snack and coffee bar, maybe set up some gourmet coffee and snacks on this Friday coming up. You've got time to plan. It's Monday, so you can do this Friday. So don't forget. Ice cream or dessert bar. A lot of places it's still pretty cold, but I think who doesn't want dessert? I love desserts. Okay, experience activities. Possibly, maybe early dismissal. I'm not sure how that works with everything, but that was something that I wrote down. Team building activity, maybe a virtual trivia challenge. Also, don't forget professional growth and development. This would be a great time to maybe incorporate, maybe offer stipends for online courses, certifications, or books. I think that's great. I think learning is the best thing for employees. I love it. Mentorship and growth sessions. Maybe this would be a great time to set up one-on-one career coaching sessions to say, hey, guess what, employees? Guess what? I value you so much, and I would love for you to be a mentor and you to be a mentee. Kind of go through that and get that together and maybe roll that out this week. That's something to think about. I have a mentorship booklet on my Etsy site. But if you haven't done this with the 5 generations of workforce employees, I think it's a great idea. For remote teams, I'm not sure if you'd be able to do that, but maybe some surprise home deliveries or whatnot. I think it would be really nice, kind of like you saw me. I'm on Loom, Loom, see right here. You could do a personalized cameo message. Maybe, I don't know if you're going to be able to get a celebrity, but maybe you could get the CEO or whatnot to send out just a wonderful thank you video to everyone, just telling them thank you. I appreciate everything you do as an employee within my organization. Thanks for enhancing the culture. That would be great. So those are some ideas, and those are on my website. Okay, moving right along. Feature templates. We spoke to employees and whatnot and growing them. We talked about mentorship, and we also talked about one-on-ones. When I go onto my Etsy site, I look at stats a lot to see what people are searching for a lot. And the 30, 60, 90 templates pull up all the time. So I see where hundreds and hundreds of people have gone on my site and looked for 30, 60, 90-day templates. So I want to let you know, here is one that I recently updated, and I made it in Excel. It's in Excel, it's in Word, and it's also in Google Sheets. It's you can see here's like the front part of it. It actually has verbiage in it, so it's something that if you're kind of new to HR or whatnot, you can kind of use it and utilize it in the best way you can, because it has actual steps. Day 1, ramp up. Day 1 through day 30, ramp up. Day 30 through 60, collaboration. 90-day plan, full autonomy. And then also, you always want to, I'm talking about manager training all the time. So there is also a 30, 60, 90, 120-day PowerPoint. It's very simplistic. It's on my Etsy site, and it outlines onboarding, training, performance, integration. Now, I put the verbiage in here, but sometimes managers don't know how to do 30, 60, 90s and 120 days, plans or whatnot. This PowerPoint will allow you as the HR leader to show your managers, perhaps within a manager meeting, how to go about doing that. So it's a great opportunity to utilize this PowerPoint. Okay. I know I'm going super fast, but I'm trying to keep it under 20 minutes today for you guys. Okay, our closure topic of the day, it needs to be top of mind more. Top 10 cybersecurity essentials for HR leaders. If you don't know, everything is going online. People are online. There's, between AI and everything, there's a lot of attacks going on. And your employees and your organizations are at risk. And so as the HR leader, you need to know that HR is a primary target. HR departments handle sensitive employee data, social security numbers, bank information. So it makes us the prime targets for cyber criminals. So we need to implement strict access controls. Phishing attacks are the number one threat. Those have been coming to light in a lot of articles I've been reading on organizations. Cyber criminals use fake emails and messages to trick employees into revealing credentials or downloading malware. So I'm hoping that you already have a lot of this already in place, but I needed to go over this. Password security is non-negotiable. I know that I didn't have it on my employee engagement calendar, but February 1 is change your password day. So I would encourage you to, if your IT department doesn't, remind employees, or the system doesn't, it's a great idea to do that, especially in HR. Protect employee and company data, ensure proper data encryption for stored and transmitted information. Okay. Onboarding and offboarding cybersecurity measures. I think you need to add this to your new hire checklist. Cybersecurity training on day 1 if you don't already have that. I want you this is why I do these Monday videos. It's to give you ideas and to get you ahead of the curve like this. So maybe this week you can go in and say, hey guys, our next orientation, we've got to have cybersecurity training on day 1. It needs to be standardized. I need to get names. I need to get signatures and whatnot. Of course, involve your IT department and whatnot, because I've just read way too many things on security being breached. Secure remote and hybrid work, VPNs, encrypted connections. Beware of deep fakes and AI scams. There are a lot. It's really hard. I know sometimes when we're going through I'm going through my Instagram, I'm like, nope, that is fake. But you know what? A lot of people, they won't pick up on it because technology is moving very, very fast. And so there are fakes, and there are also lots of AI scams. What you need to have in place, and maybe you can create a report or a template, or maybe I need to do that or whatnot, incident response and reporting is critical. If your IT department doesn't already have something in place for this, you guys need to have something in place to capture these particular incidents. Have a clear reporting protocol for suspicious emails, login attempts, or system breaches. I'm sure you guys are all over that. Okay, vendor and third-party risk management, HR tech platforms, payroll providers, and benefit systems can be weak links, especially if you're a 401. I know a lot of us, or a lot of you guys, are 401k. You're probably, you have access to the 401k system, and that's a big security threat right there. If someone were to be able to get into that and see your entire all of your employees like 401k information, that would be terrible. So I would also encourage an idea to take away is regular cybersecurity audits and trainings. Maybe you can meet with your IT counterpart and conduct monthly or quarterly audits and do like some HR security practices, because that it's ticking up. There are there's a lot of cybersecurity issues going on, and I want to make sure that you are that HR leader that is ahead of that. Last but not least, please go to my obviously go to my YouTube channel, and you are on it. Click the subscribe and also the notifications. Check out my Etsy shop. It's got a lot of it's got almost 500 items. Don't reinvent the wheel. Please do not reinvent the wheel. And here is my website that has the links for the different topics for the Trump 100 days, and it also has the ideas for employee appreciation. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful Monday, and I hope I kept it under 20 minutes. Know that I'm here for you. Know that I'm proud of you as leaders, and have a great week. Don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much.